Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to jump right in. There is a topic that I really want to discuss. I've touched on it in previous videos, but today I want to dive right in. There is a content creator, very good content creator by the name of O'Shea Duke Jackson. And he primarily has his channel centered around Black issues, uniting Black people all across the world together, primarily in Africa, and he tries to come up with solutions. He's doing his thing. I believe he's staying in Uganda at the moment. I just want to dive in based off of the title of today's video is why Black people remain at the bottom, not only globally, but also within the United States. We have created so many things. As a matter of fact, if you get a chance, check out some of my shorts, share them with your children, because I believe that it is very important that we know who we are and what we have contributed to not only the United States, but the entire world. Those videos will blow you away of the things and the contributions that we have done as Black Americans. Please go check that out. But I want to get into the video today, why we are at the bottom. It's very simple. If we wanted to understand racism, I have studied and I continue to study using a very reputable source, getting directions from my elders where they can actually show me not only in the Bible, but show me in secular books who we are. Understanding who we are will explain racism to the core. We've come a long way when it comes down to technology and the way that the world works. However, we are still fighting the same fight in terms of justice and equality and all of these other things. And there's a reason why we are in the situation we're in. Before you throw this in the trash can, I ask that you just hear this segment out, do your research. I will put some facts in the description box of where you can actually start looking at some of this stuff, but it's very important. Juneteenth is getting ready to come up, and it's more than just a celebration of the slaves understanding that they were free in Texas. It's more to it than that. Our ancestors paved the way for us, and yes, we are way better than their situation back then, but not really. When it comes down to our morals, when it comes down to our belief, standing together, we have failed, and I have to tell the truth about that. So let's get started.
Have you ever sat back and looked at all the Black talent we have worldwide? I'm in Uganda, and I see it here all the time. I'm from the African American community, and I see it even there. And I always wonder, how do people as talented as us worldwide end up being at the bottom? We can blame white supremacy and racism and colonialism and slavery. And all of those are actually correct responses. But then there's the ownership of our behavior and how we get along with each other that stops us from growing and developing. I came across this video from a YouTuber named Burrell Solomon. He's a Jewish man and he makes content about the Jewish community. And this video is called How Jewish People Make Each Other Wealthy. And he didn't do this video for the Jewish community. He did this video for all other groups. I know some people feel some type of way about the Jewish community or what is their real validation as Jews. I'm not going to get into all of that right now. But I want you to listen to the culture and some of the things in this particular video and a lot of the things in these videos we're not doing. I want you guys to listen to this, especially if you're going to be coming back to the continent of the country of your choice.
So one incredible Jewish business secret is the idea of community itself. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's how the world usually works. So you have people that are alone, right? You graduate from school and you try to go into the workforce, you open up a business, and you don't have anybody that's really vouching for you. So you're like a single individual trying to provide products and services to this world that in itself is distrustful. And that's on the good end. On the bad end, you grew up in a community that when you are trying to do things and trying to be successful, the community is actually working against you. They don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you do better than them. And they don't want to see you move forward.
I am not going to really get into his analysis of what this Jewish guy just said. I want to do my own. First off, when the video first came on, he says African Americans. Now, we are free to do whatever we want to do. We are free to live wherever we want to live. Again, we have to understand that we are not African American. We lived in Africa for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but that was not our origin. We even have to go back before the flood. What took place when the flood happened, how the lands began to divide and spread. All of this is important when it comes down to our origination. We have to understand that the history that we've been taught is not so accurate. And just to make that point valid, I want to jump over to this video and we'll come back to this. Now, for this segment that we're going to jump in and then we'll go back to O'Shea's broadcast, a lot of people do not care for Candace Owens for good reason. A lot of things that she has said and a lot of things that she has done, or I'm going to say more so said, has been very harsh, untrue concerning the black race. She is known for kissing up to, those who are in power, the dominant race, and she has done whatever it took for her to get to where she currently is today. However, we all know that a few months ago, I believe it was in April, when she got terminated from the Daily Wire. I did a video on that because it's deeper than Christ is King, and as you do your research to find out who we are and who the Jewish people are, you will understand why she kept saying Christ is King. In the Jewish community, their religion, they really do not adhere to Christ and Christ's teachings. They deal more with the Torah, they deal more with the Old Testament, but they can care less, and I've heard it out of their own mouths, they can care less about Christ himself. The reason why so many Christians today support the Jewish community is because we understand that when Christ walked the earth, he was a Jew. And so we look at the Jewish community as supreme in certain ways because we understand that Christ was a Jew. However, in the Jewish community, in the Jewish faith, they do not adhere to the teachings of Christ. They could care less about Christ himself. I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't want to hold this video long, but it's just so much to go through. Let's hear what Candace has to say. Although she may not be one of your favorite people in the world, we still have to show grace for people when they have gone astray, even within our own communities. But this is a black American who is very intelligent. She's very smart. Her show on the Daily Wire was the highest rated show. This is what we do, where we're able to make anything out of nothing. With her being terminated from the Daily Wire, she has started her own show, which I'm happy for her because I believe she can speak out a little bit further on issues that she couldn't quite discuss on the Daily Wire. Listen closely to what she says. She is, in my opinion, a credible source for what she's getting ready to say because she has been educated. She has gone to great school. She has had the education of the American system. Check it out.
What we learned in school is just so basic. It is so untrue. And when you actually begin to pursue true knowledge and to read books, not the ones that were mandated to you by the public education system, it sort of blows your mind how little you know. America in particular, we really are a unique nation for many reasons. And now it is my belief that we are an extreme psychological experiment that has been going on for a very long time.
If you heard what she said, this highly educated black woman, and it doesn't even matter that she's black, this highly educated woman, she said that the education that we get is very basic and it's untrue. And that's what we have to accept, because we're living in this la-la land, and I'm talking about black Americans. We're African this, African that. Do you understand, my people? And I love you so dearly. Do you understand that we were sold by the Africans?
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Tyre, Zidon, and the coast of Palestine, those are all ancient Africans that God is referring to. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. The Africans got together with the so-called Grecians or the Europeans, and they commenced in selling the Israelites that were dwelling on the west coast of Africa in slavery. There's your slave trade right there in the Bible. Both buyers, Europeans, and sellers, Africans, saw the people traded into captivity on the African coast as outsiders. Now, why do those Africans see you as outsiders? Because you were some people that migrated and encroached on their land. They knew you were not the same exact people. The customs that you had, the way you moved, they knew you were not the same people, so they had no problem commencing in a slave trade with the Europeans. Do you be crazy to believe that Africans were selling their own people? That makes no sense at all.
There's clues everywhere, even in The Woman King. Jesse Jackson gave us that name, African American. Look it up. We were not always called African American. That's our newest name. And so now we've subscribed to this name, and we try to adhere to the traditions that doesn't have anything to do with us. When you find out who we are, then you will understand racism, and you will understand that it goes all the way back to Jacob and Esau. Rebecca, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau, and Isaac, who was the father. That's where racism started. All the way back then, up until now. And that's the answer to racism. Let's continue, Brother O'Shea. And I'm just going to point out maybe one fact, and then we're going to let this video go for this particular segment.
So the Jewish community is very different.
Mm-hmm.
The Jewish community helps each other in business, and for many reasons. And I want to explain to you exactly what those are, and then I'm going to explain to you how you could apply these concepts and principles in your community and start changing everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
So here's some reasons why we support each other in business. So number one is there's a commandment: love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In other words,
mm-hmm.
just like you want to be successful in your heart, you should want to wish that on other people.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we all come from one source. When you do well, the other person should also do well. And when somebody else does well, it does not take away from you. You should love the person so much that you want other people in your community to do well. So that's number one. Number two.
Let's talk about that.
As you can see, the reason why his community is so successful is because there is a commandment that says, love thy neighbor as thyself. His community all share the same belief. His community grew up with the understanding of who they were. They grew up with a certain belief system that they all adhere to. And because they adhere to their belief system, they understand that I am my brother's keeper. The problem with us is that we have gone off to strange religions, which is the reason for slavery. It tells you that in Deuteronomy 28 and other places within the Bible, why slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. Yes, in the Bible, the 68th verse of Deuteronomy 28, it says, and I will bring thee into Egypt, Egypt meaning bondage. You remember Pharaoh, Moses, let my people go? I will bring thee into Egypt again with ships, that no bond man and no bond woman will buy you, because we started worshiping other gods. After the fact, when we got out of Egypt and we made it across the Red Sea, we went into a blood covenant with the Most High God, that we will listen, obey, and follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. They don't teach us this in church. It's why so many people have withered away from the church. But the answer is still in the Bible. It's just different than what we have been taught. It drains me. I have to break away from some of the news and some of the content creators, because it's always, this is racist, this is racist, inequality, this is racist, this is racist, racist. But what are you doing about it? What are we doing about it? Why we can't come together and work together? Why is there such a separation? Because you want to think that way, he want to think this way, she want to think that way, and we all over the place. We can't get on one accord. But the Jewish community, they know how to do it. The Chinese community, they know how to do it. And why is that? Because they have a common denominator. They know who their God is. And because they know who their God is, they're all on one accord. They all are like-minded. We Black Americans, we're all over the place. And I am so sick of hearing about racism. Yes, it goes on, but if we would take our time, stop subscribing to the African theory, just like Candace Owens said, she thought she knew. They didn't teach her what she's now knowing. But if she keeps doing her research, she's going to find out about them too. Because yes, the Catholics have a long history. It goes all the way back to Constantine, probably further than that. So when people ask me, am I a Christian? I say I'm a pre-Constantine Christian, before all the paganism and stuff came into play. But she's studying now, and she's opening up her eyes. Even under the Catholic belief system, she's learning some things that she has never been taught before. That you think you know something, but you don't. Black people, we go to these universities, we graduate, and we think we know it all. We think we done figured it out. Yeah, and still, we're still in the same predicament. We're just the walking dead. Aren't you tired? The lady from The Help, she said, aren't you tired, Miss whatchamacallit? Aren't you tired? Black people, aren't you tired? I don't get it. And I know this is not going to be a popular video, but I'm just tired. I'm tired. It's draining, especially when you love who you are. And I love who I am. I appreciate the rich culture from whence I came. And I just want the people whose ancestors are the same as mine to understand the significance of who we are, so that we can do better and we can be better. One more clip to show you, and then we're out.
I search for the truth all the time. Like, I search for the truth. When I was in prison, I was in Southport Box, right? Man, I got an 8th grade education, man. You know, and I'm in Southport Box, and I heard about the story of Solomon, right? And I was like, damn, it really, I felt so connected to it, right? Yeah. And I prayed, I asked God for wisdom. I asked God for understanding. I asked God for, discernment, intuition. And God blessed me with that, right? I prayed for knowledge. I prayed for wisdom. Now people, hey, Santa Claus, can I get this? Yeah, I asked God for wisdom. Yeah. And God has blessed me with wisdom. So no, I feel no pressure, because I know my goal, my ultimate goal, my final goal is to go to heaven. I believe in heaven and hell, and I want to go to heaven. And I don't give a fuck about Kim Kardashian.
100%.
I don't give a fuck about the Chinese man. I don't give a fuck about the so-called Jew, because we are the original Jews. I don't care about the European fake yarmulke wearing who thinks he's a Jew. I don't care about the Chinese man. I don't care about the Japanese man. I don't care about the Indian man, the Russian, none of them motherfuckers. I care about black man, black woman.
Black woman.
That's it, man.
Please excuse the language that the young man Smart was using. I don't use that type of language if I can help it at all. However, he said he is still learning. I don't agree with everything that he says or believes, but for the most part, he is hungry for knowledge. He says that he had an 8th grade education, but when you listen to this young man speak, he speaks nuggets of knowledge. And a lot of podcasts that he has been on, people don't want to hear it. The Bible calls us stiff-necked. We hard-headed. We don't want instruction. We want to do what we want to do when we want to do it. We have to get out of that. We have to continue to learn, because I know you can see it around you. O'Shea, Duke Jackson, the African Diaspora News Channel. I love these groups. I love watching them, but they're talking about symptoms. The symptoms of racism, the symptoms of the problems we have within our community. There is a solution. If you could give it 30 days, and I'm going to link documentaries in the description box. I love you. I love everybody. Man, woman, boy, girl, black, white, green, yellow, pink, purple, blue, brown. I love everybody. I have to love me first in terms of who I am. And so somebody has to tell it. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you in the next video. May God bless.